At 8 p.m., Close Quarters takes the stage at the Highway 61 Roadhouse. The Radio Buzzkills perform at Off-Broadway. You can catch Trey G at the Grandel Theater. At 9 p.m., Bo Diamond plays the Heavy Anchor. The Slow Boys take the stage at the Schlafly Tavern. At 9:30 p.m., One Way Traffic performs at the Frisco Bar Room. And at 10 p.m., you can catch the Trophy Winners at the Stagger Inn. To get your band or club schedule listed on the concert calendar, KDHX.org. Now going out and support live music tonight. I'm Dan Jabor from the Grand Center Arts District. This is 88.1 KDHX St. Louis.
The concert calendar is made possible by Parker's Table, offering lunchtime sandwiches of Salome Bagel, wine, craft beer, and artisan foods. ParkersTable.com.
And now from the performance studios of the Larry Weir Center for Independent Media here located in the Grand Center of St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen, the Ramblin Boys.
I was born in the shadow of a Tennessee mountain in a slower and gentler time, in a cabin my granddaddy built with his hand out of hickory, walnut, and pine. We hunted those hills, my daddy and I, so far from the bustle of town, but I soon see a hallway of life start to fade as the mines all began to shut down. Heard the saws in the mountains, saw the trucks rumble by, filing past like a funeral line. Those big iron trailers were piled up high with hickory, walnut, and pine. Call it progress or a shame when you can't stop a train as it's barreling on down the line. They'll cut down the trees and they'll name your new streets hickory, walnut, and pine. The mountain tops flattened and the hickory's gone. The streams run black as it cuts. My daddy's been out in the barn more and more since the mining went bad and then worse. I heard his old saw, I heard his old plane, I heard his cough worsen with time. Now I stand where he lays in a box that he made out of hickory, walnut, and pine. My children have left for the big city jobs. I'll remain my fate to unwind, and I'll dream of the day when the wind called my name through hickory, walnut, and pine. Call it progress or a shame when you can't stop a train as it's barreling on down the line. They'll cut down the trees and they'll name your new street hickory, walnut, and pine. Call it progress or a shame when you can't stop a train and you can't stop the passing of time. They'll cut down the trees and they'll name your new street hickory, walnut, and pine. Hickory, walnut, and pine. Hickory, walnut, and pine.
I'll echo Gene Robertson. Just say mighty fine, folks. The Poe Ramblin' Boys, Hickory, Walnut, and Pine from the new one. Toiled. I got the order wrong. Toils, Tears, and Trouble.
That's right.
I get it right because whoever's going to open the Grammy envelope has to get it in the right order.
Well,
for you.
we'll see.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. I mean, congratulations on all your success. But that is just like that's more than icing on the cake. That's like sprinkles on the icing or something. Before I do all the flabbergasted talking, why don't you give us an introduction so the folks know who the Poe Ramblin' Boys are?
All right. Well, let's see. Back here on the bass, we've got Jasper Lorenzen. On the banjo, Jeremy Brown. On the guitar, Josh Wrinkle. And over here on the fiddle, the Poe Ramblin' Boy herself, Miss Laura Orshaw, the newest member of the Poe Ramblin' Boys, and I'm C.J. Lewandowski.
Welcome. Glad to have you here, and love that Slade Cleave song. When you go about to put an album together, how do you find a song like this?
Well, this was a completely different process than anything we'd had ever done. Now, a lot of us, we have a big record collection, and so we would go through, and we like, especially me, we like obscure records, Cliff Waldron and Charlie Moore, and all these things that didn't get quite the attention of Jimmy Martin, the Osborne Brothers, Bill Monroe stuff, Flatt and Scruggs. And so we went through, and we've, in past albums, we went through and found those kind of what we call gems.
Yeah. The deep cuts.
Yeah, the songs, the deep catalog stuff. Yeah. And this project here, the Rounder project, we have he's actually retired now, but he come in kind of special project. He invested in us, Ken Irwin, the original one of the three founders of Rounder Records, and he was the A&R man for Rounder before they actually sold out to Concord Music Group. But he actually was our A&R man on this project. So it was a collaboration of me and him, but most of the songs were from him. Right. He probably sent me 250 songs, 150, 200, right around there. Yeah. And I narrowed it down to 30. Yeah. And then brought it to the band, and then we narrowed it from that. Yeah. And so there's still, out of all those songs that he sent, there's still some great material that we could use for further projects. But it was a completely different process than what I was used to, but it worked, evidently.
Yeah. I would have to say so. And this is your first record on the Rounder label. You put out your own recordings before. Yeah. And what's the difference there, apart from like distribution and promotion? I mean, obviously it changed your process. Being a Rounder artist, being on a label, is that significant to y'all?
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of us, we didn't ever think that we would be on a label like that. Yeah. And we were on Random Records before, and we cut a gospel album on Sound Biscuit Productions, their label over there in Sevierville, Tennessee. But when Rounder called us, or we had our little meeting with Rounder, it was surprising to us that they even wanted to talk to us. Yeah. But then when they actually wanted to sign a contract with us, we all kind of like, okay, it's now or never, guys. So we all kind of hunkered down, and we wanted to bring something that was more. As far as signing with Rounder, we wanted to bring something that it honored what we had learned through all these years and all the people we learned from, but we also wanted to create our own sound because there's only one Jimmy Martin and there's only one Ralph Stanley, and so we can take those influences though and we can grow upon them. That's exactly what they did. So I think this Rounder project, that's what we had in mind most of the time was to kind of find our own little niche, but also be the traditionalists that we like to be.
These are the Poe Ramblin' Boys. And just thank you for coming in this morning.
You.
I really appreciate having you here. Without going too deep in the weeds, could you give us like a rundown of the Grammy nomination process? Because I'm floored of like all the bluegrass recordings that were released last year. You know, any one of them could have been a nominee. It ends up that this band standing in front of me right now is one of them. Is it like a multi-tiered thing where there's like a first cut and then a second cut and then finally the final? Okay, so take us through.
So there's a consideration eligibility period, and you have to be within those periods. We were 1 week. Our album came out 1 week, 7 days before the end, and so that
was that a happy accident or was that intentional?
That was it was intentional. We still wanted to, Rounder still wanted to sneak it into the eligibility time, right? But it slid in there just at the end, and it was
you sliced your bread mighty thin there, CJ.
Yeah, an album that had been out a week. Michael Cleveland's album as well was only out a week. Yeah, same day as ours, and
for an album to only be out a week in that eligibility time and then be nominated is pretty crazy within itself. But there's the eligibility period. There's a board of nominators, and so the board goes through however many projects are eligible for that in that time period. And I believe there's a little over 50 in the bluegrass category this year, which is great.
Yeah.
And so that happened, and those narrow it down to the 5, and then those 5 goes to the actual Recording Academy members. Now, Recording Academy members, you can't just pay your dues and get a card. No. You have to be you have to be nominated by a Recording Academy member, and you actually have to be nominated by 2, and therefore you can become a Recording Academy member. And now, like with our group, we have 5 people in it now. It would only be a maximum of 2 per interest.
Right.
So there could be 2 maybe next year if we have some kind of standing with the Grammys now. So 2 of us could be on the Recording Academy membership list next year. So
only 2 of you.
Yeah, only 2 at a time. Only 2 at a time. So it's pretty neat. There's the board puts it all together, and then it goes out to the Recording Academy quote unquote public, and they finalize.
Before we get another tune out of you, we got 2 more actually. Before we go to the next one, where were you? How did you find out?
I was in bed. I think everybody was in bed. Were you not? Yeah,
well,
not the same. Not the same bed.
Jeremy.
Not the same bed. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
No, I got a text that was from our what do you call it? Ashley Moyer. She's I forget her technical term at Rounder, but she does a lot of our A&R stuff over there and media posting, and she contacts she would send you a CD.
Right.
So she said congratulations, and that's all it was.
Oh,
and
really? That was the message?
That was it. And it actually woke me up, so I turned over, grabbed the phone, and I was like, congratulations for what? And she just sent a link to the Grammy nominations. I was like, whoa! And I sent a group text out to everyone, and he was in my basement. He's got a room in my basement, and I could hear him start scuffling around and making all kinds of noise. So, Granny, where were you?
I was blow drying my hair.
There you go. Well, see, that's one thing that we weren't doing. So,
well, again, I just imagine that excitement of that moment, and still just thrilled for you. So happy this is happening for this band. Here's another one from the poor Ramblin' Boys. What you going to give us?
We're going to do one that Josh wrote here, and we're going to feature a little bit of high baritone singing. We got a lot of high baritone influence from Ralph Stanley, and then Mr. Don Brown, the Ozark Mountain Trio from here in the St. Louis area. But this is a song that Josh wrote. We had constructed one way, and then when Laura come in, we redid it to where we could fit her in. So here's one called Kentucky on My Mind.
The rolling hills, her hair of auburn, they run together in my dreams. I've got to get back to the bluegrass. I've been gone so long now, seems. Tonight I miss old Kentucky and the blue-eyed girl left behind. What I'd give to put her arms around me. Tonight I've got Kentucky on my mind. I wonder if she's waiting there for me in the hills that I left to roam. Tonight I'll pack up my bags. I'll head for my old Kentucky home. Tonight I miss old Kentucky and the blue-eyed girl left behind. What I'd give to put her arms around me. Tonight I've got Kentucky on my mind.
Tonight I'll miss old Kentucky and the blue-eyed girl left behind. What I'd give to put her arms around me. Tonight I've got Kentucky on my mind. Lord, tonight I've got Kentucky on my mind.
Ramblin' Boys on 881 KDHX. So happy to have you here. That's a real pleasure to hear that. I was expecting something off the new CD. I thought, oh, which one's this going to be? And that's not recorded yet. We got that to look forward to in the next one. Could we talk to the newest member of the Po Ramblin' Boys? What was it like to? How'd you hook up with this outfit?
Well, I met these boys when I was playing with Danny Paisley in the Southern Grass.
Oh, wow.
A few years back,
Yeah,
and
that's
they're
cool.
all Danny Paisley fans, as am I. I grew up in Pennsylvania and just heard Danny singing from the time I was a baby. So I got to play with him for a couple summers, and we ended up being at Ralph Stanley's festival together. And I met these guys there, and then I live up in Boston, so in the New England bluegrass scene, they ended up traveling up to New York State at a festival I was at. So we got to play some music with each other there, and then I just started following them around, you know?
She requested a Buzz Busby song in a jam session one night in New York, and I said, I love you.
Yes, that's instant credibility right there. Well, welcome. First time I had to go to Minnesota to see this band for the first time. That's on me. I mean, I had opportunity before then, but I met you up at the Minnesota Festival, my home grounds, and it's still a four-piece then, a good four-piece. And it's really hard to be just a good four-piece, but every bluegrass band deserves a fiddle, especially this one. It's nice to have you filling out the sound there. And speaking of festivals, last night you were at the stage of the Missouri Area Bluegrass Committee's Winter Festival out in Eureka.
That's right.
You've got deep connection to Missouri Bluegrass, CJ. I think you probably got more Missouri Bluegrass flowing through you than like the rest of us combined. What's it mean to you to play the festival in the home state here?
Oh, it's a good one. That's probably the first festival that I ever went to.
Yeah.
As a kid, I grew up in Jefferson County, so MABC, Missouri Area Bluegrass Committee, was a big part of my raising.
Yeah.
And I seen it several years ago. Go over to the Holiday Inn there, which was at the time the Ramada Inn, but go over there, and it's grown even further over at the Holiday Inn now, and it's it's really cool to come home, and we try and do it as much as possible. Right. And but that festival in particular, it means a lot to me, being that it was probably the first festival I ever went to, and then coming home, I get to see my family. I get to see a lot of the people that I grew up playing music with. And some of these folks now are, I guess the oldest one that was there that I played music with last night, he's, I'm not going to say his name, he's probably listening, but he's 80, he'll be 84 this year.
Wow.
Or 85 maybe. So a lot of my influences are getting older.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see them, and it's good to see them out in the crowd having a good time with us.
Yeah.
So their support is really appreciated, especially in the St. Louis area.
Well, I thank you for that. And Po Ramblin' Boy recordings are fine. I just want to say a word about your Ozark mandolin recording you made by yourself, and that was just a tasty treat of just good hard playing.
Well, thank you very much.
There's something more to be said about it, but all I can come up with right now is good hard playing.
You're one of like 14 people that have the project, so thanks.
Oh, really? Well, thank you. I'm honored to have it.
It's very limited edition.
Yeah. So as long as we're nominated, will we be at the awards?
Well, yes, we will.
Yeah.
We're going out. We've actually got to. On Tuesday. We've got a little Grammy celebration in Nashville.
Nice.
The Nashville chapter gets together, so we're going to go to that on Tuesday, and then
I take it all the nominees who are in the area.
All
will be
the
joined.
nominees, in any genre.
Yeah.
And then we've actually got to fly to Alberta, Canada, the 2 days prior. So we've got to play Thursday, Friday, in Canada. We fly down early in the morning on Saturday. We play a 3 o'clock set with the IBMAs and Americana Fest and Folk Alliance, and then there's a pre-party, and then Sunday morning is when our announcements will be.
Right.
Kind of the
never part of the main ceremony.
Yeah, never part.
In an award ceremony you're announced previously today.
So we'll be the previously announced,
Yes.
and then we actually have tickets to the televised version, and then the after party. And Monday, if we're still alive, we'll get on a plane and come home. So
Well, wonderful. Again, I'm so excited for you. Good luck. I can't handicap the Grammys. Some years I can pick them. Some years I just have like no clue. But the fact is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. It's what you wear to the ceremony.
that's
So
right. We got this figured out.
Yeah, I know. I saw
you've seen
a
us before,
Facebook picture
yeah.
of a new outfit being made. Is going to get its debut at the Grammys?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wonderful.
If you've seen us before, Keith, you know that we
you're a
try and
fashion
dress
plate.
as best as we can on the stage.
Well, that was
So,
Mr. Monroe's thing.
we're going
you
even
dress better than
further
the people who
out
come to
for
see
the
you. Nobody
yes.
wants to pay money to go see somebody dressed just like them.
That's right. That's right.
It is show business.
It
it's
is.
Not,
it's a show
not,
business.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, I'm going to let you take us out with one more. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you here, and best
Thank you,
wishes,
Keith.
not just for the Grammy Awards, but for the coming year and beyond. Hope to see you back here again soon.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for supporting KDHX, everybody. This is the first radio station I ever played on. 2011, Gene Roberts.
Gene Roberts.
Mighty
Country
fine,
Function
mighty
Bluegrass
fine.
Junction.
That's right. That's
Tuesday
right.
mornings.
We're going to do this song here. This is actually the title track to that Grammy-nominated project. Jeremy does a great job on it. It's Old Connie and Babe song, and we actually got to sing this on our Grand Ole Opry debut on October 1st. So there's been a lot of great things in 2019, and we're looking forward to 2020. 2020? Wow. It's early, folks. 2020. Here's Toil, Tears, and Trouble.
I left you so then, my little darling, the night you told me love was through. Been crying over and over, I love you, darling, you know I do. When tears down in the old trouble, you know you played an unfair game. Called me, darling, said you loved me, wanted me to change your name. When you're alone and lonely, you have no one there to care for you. Remember, darling, I loved you only, the one that loved you the way I do. Going tears down in the old trouble, you know you played an unfair game. Called me, darling, said you love me, wanted me to change your name. You left me crying, lonesome and sorry. The words you told me broke my heart. All and tears now will be my story. Double trouble will be my part. Going tears down in double trouble. Know you played an unfair game. Called me, darling, said you love me, wanted me to change your name. Going tears down in double trouble. You know you played an unfair game. Called me, darling, said you love me, wanted me to change your name. Wanted me to change your name.
Thank you.